The Star Wars sequel trilogy has been expunged from Galaxy's Edge in Disneyland, but now the first bit of scrubbing has started in Walt Disney World. Let's talk about it today on That Park Place. Vash, so we have got, we are now starting to see the updates to Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. Now, we knew this was coming. We've known for a while. We knew long before they announced that they were going to be scrubbing the sequel trilogy from Galaxy's Edge that we were getting a new Smuggler's Run with a new Mandalorian and Grogu-inspired experience here. But it has now started. They're now starting. They're rolling out the video of the pre-show from Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Edge. Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run at Star Wars Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland. Now, this is coming to Walt Disney World as well, and this will be the first instance in Walt Disney World of them scrubbing the sequel era from Galaxy's Edge, because this is not going to be about the First Order. It's not going to be about the Resistance. It's, you know, it's going to be all new. So let's have a quick look. This video from WDWNT. The updated pre-show dialogue. As reported in the updated pre-show last weekend, can confirm it's now in place at both Batu outposts. In the original Smuggler's Run pre-show, Hondo Ohnaka welcomes us to his operation and explains how we'll be helping him. The Millennium Falcon arrives. Chewbacca appears on screen with and Hondo greets him. Their one-sided dialogue reveals that a previous win-win arrangement allowed Hondo to borrow the Falcon and retrieve coaxium for the Resistance while he keeps the profits. I've always hated that.
Yes.
You're telling me Chewbacca is going, after the death of Han Solo, is going to allow Hondo Ohnaka to borrow the Millennium Falcon?
For coaxium.
For a coaxium, and then, you know, no. So the updated dialogue removes any reference to the First Order and the Resistance, which allows the attraction to function within the original trilogy. And then it implies that Hondo is temporarily stealing the Falcon from Chewie for our use on the mission. So that's it. So here's the video that they posted.
What is that? How could that have happened? We don't even deliver ion disruptors. They're illegal. You know that. Shit them. Well, you know, I had a bad feeling about that last group, but this is the groove I've been waiting for. Yeah.
Jim Cummings doing the voice still. I love that.
Absolutely.
I have an opportunity for you all that is very dangerous. I was going to say profitable. You think I'm so heartless I would send my friends into danger? You insult my honor.
Have you ever seen this animatronic die? Because I've seen it die.
I've never seen it die. No, I've seen it like not.
I've seen it like, I've seen it like mid conversation just go.
Oh no!
Yeah, I saw that when Galaxy's Edge first opened, but they do cover it when it's not working and have Hondo on the screen instead.
We have very little number to insult.
Hondo, one of the engines blew.
We'll talk later. I have to do everything around here.
All right, so that's the same.
Yeah, that's all the same, and then that's kind of the.
Hello, my friends. I am Hondo Ohnaka.
This is when you walk in. That's kind of the pattern.
Today, I am offering the opportunity of a lifetime.
Okay.
I need flight crews to transport this valuable merchandise across the galaxy. Pilots to navigate, engineers to operate the ship, and gunners to defend the shipments. And that is where you come in.
All that pretty much the same, very subtle.
The Millennium Falcon, the fastest ship in the galaxy. Speed brings profits. Chewbacca, my fine buddy friend. Yes, as we discussed, you can leave the ship here. The spaceport has plenty of room, especially for your Falcon. What? No, it is perfectly safe. Okay, time to go, so,
Okay, so Chewie is hiding the ship with Hondo, I guess, because the Empire is out looking for them. So so it's basically like, can we park the ship in your garage? And then Hondo steals it.
You did perfect ship. Move along, my friends. Listen carefully and remember, the better you work together.
Okay, so that makes so much more sense. That is such a better story. Yeah. That works so much better. But I mean, really. So WWNT tries to make the point that they take out the First Order and stuff, but it makes it fit within the the original trilogy for Hollywood Studios, and the sequel trilogy for Hollywood Studios, and the original trilogy for Disneyland. I would say this is expunging it from, because Mando and Grogu are not like a thing in the sequel trilogy.
No. Nope.
So
nope.
Yeah.
So this ride in particular is basically devoid of sequel, versus Rise very much heavily in sequels. So I think I agree with you. They've really shifted the timeline here, and I think they have to do it carefully because the Falcon, right? At a certain point, Han loses it, and that's why Rey picks it up, right?
Yeah. Han loses it. It ends up with Unkar Plutt, and then Rey steals it, brings it into space, and then Han and Chewie find them like immediately.
Right.
Which is like, I don't know why Han didn't just look on the planet, because then again, Han Solo in those movies is an idiot and dead. So I honestly, I think this is going to be popular. The Mandalorian and Grogu film, it is I don't know how well it's going to do, but I think this ride is going to be more popular now that it has theming to something that people have genuinely enjoyed in the past.
It's pretty ironic that this ride took so much heavy inspiration from Solo, and with its update, it might be taking its inspiration heavily from another box office bomb. So that's
another movie that's going to open even lower than Solo. Right. But I mean, you could still connect it to like the Mandalorian TV show, which had 2 very good seasons.
Yeah. Thankfully you can, because it's like, wow, is history repeating itself? And also too, I think this is much more. I think Lauren said in the chat right there. This is much more in keeping with Hondo's nature. The way he actually goes about this, which is really, really cool. I actually do like Hondo Ohnaka as a character. I do too. I was really glad to see him in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. The problem is that because he's not iconic enough, a lot of people feel disappointed by this attraction, because it's like, well, we don't even get to hang out with like classic characters and all of that, and that's where this kind of the bad rap for Star Wars Galaxy's Edge as a whole comes from. I
was so disappointed that Hondo was not in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Because like like when he meets that like grifter who's played by that absolute wiener comedian, I forget his name, the one from Eternals who cried because they made him do sit-ups.
Right.
He was in it with his stupid voice and just being painfully not funny, and I'm like, why is this not Hondo? Because Hondo and Obi-Wan in Clone Wars was always amazing, and because that was the one thing I kept saying to my wife. I was like, I just want there to be an episode where Obi-Wan like turns a corner and you just hear Kenobi. Like, I would have lost it. I thought it would have been so good, but they did not do that. They did not put Hondo into it, which really honestly surprised me. I guess Kumail Nanjiani, that's his name. They were like, we need to get Kumail Nanjiani in there because he's so popular. Well, we'll see how well that goes now that Eternals bombed.
Yes, exactly.
and he was very upset by that, Vash. It really hurt his feelings that we didn't like the Eternals. So,
think about that. A better movie, I guess.
Yeah, think about that next time that you hate a movie. How these rich celebrities feel about it. All right. That's all I
will definitely take those celebrities, feelings, fifis into consideration for my $20. But when it comes to Hondo, look, I love Jim Cummings. I love him being, part of this attraction right there, which is really cool because you hear him as Tigger and Winnie the Pooh and all of that. So he's already in multiple Walt Disney World attractions as it currently exists right now. I'm very excited to see the other changes that they actually make to this, right? Because this attraction is modular. It was built to be modular. So I'm wondering how they kind of utilize those assets.
That's an interesting point that you just made there. I wonder how many, like if we could do an actual count of how many Walt Disney World and Disneyland attractions Jim Cummings is featured in. I guarantee you it's a lot.
I want to say it's a lot, right? Because he's like the, a lot of times maybe he's not the main character featured in those attractions, but he's like a background character, side character.
He'll be additional voices because he's so versatile in all the things that he does. But I mean, like I'm just thinking about it in Magic Kingdom, like he's in the Winnie the Pooh attraction, obviously. You go over by Pete's Silly Sideshow, and he's in the announcement that comes out there, like welcome to Pete's Silly Sideshow. Like, Yeah, he's all over the place, man, and he, as he should be. That man is just absolutely amazing at everything he does. I mean, like, the fact that, like, when Jeremy Irons blew his voice out, and they were like, "Hey, you know, could you just do the end of Be Prepared? Like, could you just do an Irons voice?" And he was just like, "Yeah, I think I got that in me." But
It's amazing.
yeah, anytime you've heard the Cheshire Cat, in recent years, it's been him. He's
Really?
he's the Cheshire Cat. He's King Louis. He's like so many different characters.
Oh,
But
just
yeah,
fantastic.
I love having him in this attraction. I do like Hondo Ohnaka as a character, but I really love that I no longer have to hear him talk about the First Order.
Yes, or coax him, which maybe that'll be part of this. I maybe it was part of the new storyline. I can't remember.
I don't remember
But
if it is or not, but
I-
they
yeah,
say that
I
the
mean-
new storyline, like, all of the roles are like made better. I don't know how you could make the gunner role better. The gun, see,
Yeah.
everybody thinks that everyone thinks that the engineer is the worst role. It's actually not. The worst role is the gunner.
Right.
Like, the gunner should be reserved for, like, the 5-year-olds who just want to hit a button over and over again.
Yes. Now, manual mode makes it a little bit more interesting, right? Because your orientation changes with your blaster fire in order to get those TIE fighters on screen. Now, I think the positioning obviously is a little bit more favorable than the engineer. However, I do agree with you. Those other positions just aren't as compelling. So I'm really interested to see.
Yeah, the engineer, apparently they're going to actually interact with Grogu in that position. I don't know how.
Correct. Yeah.
But apparently they're going to interact with Grogu.
Right.
But the thing about the engineer, that everyone just thinks that all they did was fire the cable. That's not true. As the ship, they don't do a great job of, showing this, but as the ship takes damage, the engineer's console lights up and you have to reroute power. Otherwise, the handling for the pilots won't be as good.
Right. Yeah.
So I actually always liked that. I was like, cool, I'm repairing the ship. I thought that was pretty neat. But I mean, nothing beats being the pilot, though. Being the pilot is
correct.
the best.
And so both these positions, I think, just really come down to button mashing. And if we're looking at button mashing for the gunner position or even the engineer position, it's kind of like, okay, let's put a little bit more emphasis on the engineer position only because it's so far away from the screen. I think that's maybe the thinking or thought process there. I do kind of agree with you, Marvin. Sitting in the back right there, seeing how everybody interacts, seeing the dynamic that actually plays out, especially if you're like with a family that's, very enthusiastic about their flight and so forth. That can be kind of fun from the engineer's standpoint right there. But certainly this ride had to be improved. And timeline was not the biggest issue. It was one of the issues. I'm glad to see that they're addressing that. I'm glad to see that they're addressing the fact that we only go to one location, that being previously Corellia. Now we're getting like the Death Star, the Death Star ashes, I guess, from the moon of Endor, Tatooine, Cloud City, a couple of those locations. I think you start in Tatooine, then you go to all these different things. Which, by the way, the engineers actually control as well, right?
I believe so.
Gotcha. So that's pretty cool.
But, have you ever ridden this attraction when somebody who doesn't understand what the attraction is lets their like 4-year-old be the pilot?
Yes, I have been in those journeys.
Horrible experience.
I
They don't realize that the child can actually move the vehicle that everyone is in, and they just start doing this or this.
Yes.
And it's, oh my gosh, worst experience of my life. It was 2 5-year-olds, and all they were doing was back and forth and up and down, and it was just, oh my gosh, I almost puked when I got off that ride.
Maybe they could have done it by weight or something, but how like how on rails it is, right? Maybe it could have been a little bit more on rails if, in fact, the person sitting in the seat was obviously like a adolescent, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like that way it's a more consistent experience for everybody involved, especially for the adults. Yeah, this ride has a lot of problems that I think they are in the process of addressing. I don't know how, to what extent, I'm not sure, because this is also a very expensive ride, and to modify this in any meaningful way would be exponential at this point, especially with the hardware shortages that we're suffering from right now. So it's going to be very, really interesting to see what they end up doing with this. But I'm glad to see that there's an update. But man, it is. Remember, Marvin, they announced this at D23 Ultimate Fan Event 2024. It is 2026. Still don't have it. That's all obviously.
I understand them wanting it to come out at the same time as the movie. So
yeah, but still, it's like.
And to be fair, that's like an old school Disney Parks thing when like something debuts the same day as a movie. Like they used to do, like Beauty and the Beast live on stage in Hollywood studios debuted the day that Beauty and the Beast hit theaters, and it's still playing today. So you know, people do like it, so I'm sure that it has to go. But sure, it's in the crosshairs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. 100%.
But
no,
right,
I mean,
guys, good.
I'm excited for this. Excited to see the change. Pretty cool that we got this early.
Yep. So, guys, a new pre-show, a new adventure, this attraction, and an end to the sequel trilogy in the theme park.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.